Hello everyone, this is Romario with another Legacy video. But before we get started, I would like to ask you to hit the subscribe and the like button. Also, if you feel free to write any comments on feedbacks on my play or card choices or the deck. I love reading the feedback on my videos. And for this week, I decided to play Beseech Storm. This deck is kind of came up like after we saw people playing different variations of Mono Black Saga Storm or again Beseech Storm. They're all kind of like play out in very similar ways. This deck, I think, it's one of my favorite decks that I've played in the last like maybe year and a half. The only time I won a Legacy challenge online was playing a very similar 75. I have tons of fun playing this deck, and I thought it was due for me to like record a league and post it on YouTube. So like I said, I've been playing this deck for at least for like a year now, I think. Tried a bunch of different cards. I think the original list had 2 Tendrils of Agony in the main deck. We also tried cards like Candy Trail as one of the other Saga's targets. The sideboard has gone through like a bunch of modifications, but now the 75 that I have that I have here, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the 75 I'll play tomorrow if there was a tournament. A couple of different plans, which I really like it, and they all kind of a lot of times they come together, and that's when you win. So I guess the number one, I mean, not number one, but like the easiest one to see here is like, we've got Urza Saga and tons of artifacts. And then Lavaspur Boots is just a way to start attacking faster. It's not uncommon for you to attack for like 10 or 11. Well, it wouldn't be like an even number, but it's really a way to start attacking for a lot with Lavaspur Boots and Urza Saga and a couple of artifacts, right? So like, because you do have cards like Mox Opal and Chrome Mox, so it's not hard for you to just start activating Urza Saga on turn 2 without the use of anything like an Ancient Tomb or City of Traders. Then my favorite one is that we have the various ways of finding the Echo of Eons plus blue sources of mana and like basically like going up in storm count and resources when you do that. Obviously, if you've been playing Legacy for a little while now, you've seen decks that abuse the Blind's-Eye Diamond Echo of Eons interaction, right? So this deck, we have obviously Entomb that can find Echo of Eons, and you have Saga that can find LED, or you can just draw one of them too. And sometimes like you can either Entomb and then just use your Dark Rituals plus a Mox Opal or a Lotus Petal and like just cast Echo of Eons. There's tons of different combinations, but as long as you are aware that there's different ways you can do this. And alongside Echo of Eons, we have Orcish Bowmasters, which of course great synergy here. Like just be able to trigger your Orcish Bowmaster 7 times. And the other I guess I'll say the other plan in the deck is Beseech the Mirror, right? So Beseech the Mirror lets you tutor for a card, and if you sack artifact a creature, I'm sorry, did I say correctly? Artifact creature. I guess in this card, in the case of this deck and enchantments, you can go get a card that has a casting cost of 4 or less, and you can cast it for free. So there's different ways you can play this card in this deck. One of them is just the normal chain Beseech the Mirrors, which is like you play the first one as long as you have enough cards to, I'll call it tinkering. As long as you have enough cards to tinker for it, like you can keep Beseeching the Mirror, and then you can end normally with a Tendrils of Agony. There are times that you want to cast a Gaea's Will, which is Yawgmoth's Wills at home, or a bootleg Yawgmoth's Will. And those chains are pretty fun to do too. It's like that's probably one of the easiest ways for you to get to a turn 1 storm count that it's lethal with Tendrils of Agony. And there are a few things you have to watch out for, and hopefully they'll come up in the league and you can see. But Beseeching the Mirror, giving enough resources, you can. The last one, you get a Gaea's Will and then recast all your 0 mana artifacts and Dark Rituals, and then Beseech from the graveyard again, and then you get Tendrils of Agony. So as a rule of thumb, if you think you have enough storm count, you probably do. I know it sounds like very simplistic, but normally that's the case. And with Gaea's Will and LED in play, LED kind of turns into like a Black Lotus. So usually mana is not the bottleneck. But again, these are kind of like situations that you kind of either have to stop and think about it for a second, or just hopefully again it'll come up in the league and you see what I mean. And then the last plan here, we got Song of Creation. So there are situations that you can Beseech the Mirror early in the game, but you don't have enough resources to come up with a Gaea's Will loop. But a Beseech the Mirror early in the game plus a 0 drop, or if you're able to still cast a Dark Ritual, can get you to draw a lot of cards with Song of Creation. So I Beseech the Mirror on turn 1 or 2 and get a Song of Creation, play a Mox Opal or Lotus Petal. You draw 2 more cards, and then hopefully you can chain more zeros and cards like Dark Ritual. You do also get to cast, like, no, not cast, but like play an extra land that turn, so that usually helps too. But again, it's just like another way to go off like early in the game. That is, Song of Creation was like one of the newish additions to the main deck. I think in that spot we used to have the second Tendrils of Agony, which can still be relevant. As an example, there were a lot of times that if you Echo of Eons and you draw Tendrils of Agony off of the the new 7 you drew, oftentimes that was enough to just cast Tendrils from your hand, which is obviously really good because then you kind of play around counter magic. But anyways, so the main deck has all these plans, and the sideboard has gone through some changes. I think one of the ones that kind of stayed was the Sheoldred, Empty the Warrens. I think pretty much everything else had like different numbers, but I'll go over it real quick. One of the things I noticed with this deck is that a lot of times playing against blue decks, especially the tempo decks, you really need to be able to see their hand before you try to go off. Well, not have to, but I would definitely highly suggest you do that. And with I think we used to have only like 6 counter discard spells, or maybe there was one Duress. The Thoughtseize were always 4, but in short, like I really wanted to have like more discard spells, right? So, and in the beginning, I think I added the second Cabal Therapy. Very good in this deck. Again, there's some minor synergy when Entomb, but you can always Entomb and turn it into a Cabal Therapy. Then you always have like a Urza Saga or Orcish Bowmasters token. But the rest is just like better. Just early in the game because you don't have to guess what your opponent have, and it doesn't cost you life. So at first there was one Duress. I think I cut one of the Feed Swarms or Dismember. And eventually, I think I saw I think it was Mike, my co-host from Legacy Small Talk. I think he had a second Duress, and I was like, all right, let me try to do it. And I think I actually like this number. And then, of course, we have Leyline in the Void plus Helm of Obedience. Very good against the various blue-black reanimator decks. They're currently doing well in Legacy. Feed the Swarm has got a bunch of different utilities, but really, in my opinion, I just really like to bring it in matchups that play Leyline in the Void and possibly Blood Moon. And if you do run into Death and Taxes, it has lots of attacks against that deck too. Killing the creatures is obviously very relevant, but also it's a way to kill Deafening Silence. Shooter of Apocalypse, very good against any blue deck that's trying to cast cantrips, but is also very, very good against the One Ring. It might be one of the few ways that this deck can deal with the One Ring. Especially if it's a deck that's like the One Ring and Veil of Summer or something like that. Sheoldred, very powerful there. But again, it is very good card like against blue decks, except for maybe not against blue-black Reanimator, because if they reanimate your Sheoldred, you're going to be in bad shape. So again, good card, but there are situations that you probably don't want anyways. Empty the Warrens, that's the card that used to be really, really good. But then with the printing of Tamiyo, it got very, very bad, in my opinion, a lot of times. So maybe if there's one card that sometimes I feel like it should be cut from the sideboard, is Empty the Warrens. Tamiyo, a flip Tamiyo just makes a card not do anything. But it's still a pretty good card against Eldrazi and Mono Red Stompy. So that might be the reason why the card still hangs in there. But yeah, definitely has got a lot worse over time. Like Empty the Warrens used to be one of my favorite cards to bring in against tempo decks. And even the tempo decks right now, they might still be playing Tamiyo, so it's not a guarantee win. And then Haywire Mite and Surge Node, they're basically against for Mono Red Stompy. It's a very hard matchup for this deck. So Haywire Mite can obviously deal with things like Blood Moon and Chalice of the Void. And Surge Node is kind of the same thing too. You can also deal with Chalice of the Void. Again, it's still a hard matchup. There might be considerations to maybe try to come up with a creature plan. I just couldn't really think of one for this deck. So, but as long as of course, if you can dodge that matchup, I think the deck's still very good against the rest of the field. So we'll see you guys for round 1, and hopefully we enjoy the league. All right, so we're here, round 1. This hand looks pretty good. We've got the Echo combo plus plenty of mana, and if we suspect that is not a good start, we can always just try to Urza Saga. We have enough mana to make tokens right away. They're playing red, so this might indicate that they have Power Blast already. So I'm gonna start with a Saga, a Lavaspur Boots, and it's possible that we can just play a Beseech the Mirror. I think I'm gonna keep the, well, it could be mono red, so like I'm just gonna do this. Not really sure what they're playing yet, right? There could be a deck that's trying to play a Chalice, so at the Void on turn 2. That would be a kind of a slow start for Chalice, but so we're gonna see a Blood Moon that's gonna kill our Saga. Not great, but it's probably okay. Okay, so here I am going to make black mana with the Mox Opal. I will play the second Mox Opal. I'm gonna keep this one. Oh, there's no reason for me to make mana here. I still have artifacts. Okay, so we're just gonna, actually no, I could Beseech the Mirror or another LED, or can we just create a loop here and win the game? I mean, that might be a question, right? So let's think. I did play a land this turn, so I wouldn't be able to replay Vault. I can cast the Beseech the Mirror, sack Lavaspur Boots, second Beseech the Mirror, sack Mox Opal. Then I can crack LED in response to Gaea's Will, and then replay 1, 2, 3. So right now the Storm is 1. So 2, 3, 4 with Gaea's Will, and 5, 6, 7, and then 8. I can just, okay, yeah, so we're gonna do that instead of trying to make things too complicated, right? So so this is 2. I think I got it correctly. 3, then 4 will be Gaea's Will, right? So then I'm replaying this one, so that's 5, 6, 7. Replay LED, that's 8, and then there are, okay. All right, so we're gonna guess Beseech the Mirror. Do I need to have Vault Whispers in play? 1, 2, 3. No, I do not. All right, so we're going to get Gaea's Will, cast it, and in response, I'm going to make triple black mana. Right, so we're going to replay everything that's in my graveyard, basically. Lotus Petal, and we can tap this for black. Keep this one, black. Actually, I'm just making too much mana here at this point. All right, I will cast the Lavaspur Boots, Beseech, and then we're going to get Tendrils of Agony. So this matchup is, if it is mono red Stompy, which I believe it is, this matchup is terrible for my deck, which is not a great way to start the league, but winning game 1 is very, very important on the play. I expect to have a very hard time trying to win game 2 on the draw, but then we'll be on the play again in game 3. So for this deck, see if I can put in card view. I think it's a little, well, I think it's a little easier to see it this way. No, maybe it's not. I like I said, I really like Into the Warrens. I like Surge Nodes, and I like Haywire Mite. I also like Feed the Swarm, and I don't really like Cabal Therapy. Duress is also not very good on the play. I think Lavaspur Boots is not great. Also, Bowmasters is just not very good neither. But being on the draw, I used to just discard. I mean, side out discard spells. But this deck started playing 4 copies of Mindbreak Trap in the sideboard. So I don't like to discard to side out all my discards. So I think I'm gonna go half and half in this because I expect them to have Leyline in the Void. So this hand doesn't really do anything, right? So I can't really keep it. This hand is also very, very weak. I think at this point I'm gonna mulligan. All right, I think I can try to keep this one. I'm gonna put 3 cards back. Really, yeah, they're expecting. Oh, they have double Leyline. Okay. So yeah, 1 Feed the Swarm was not gonna be enough. I think if we play a Chalice on 0 here. All right, so we're gonna play Fell the Mirror. I'm not gonna pay 3 life, and I'll play out the Mox. I mean, not the Mox, the Lotus Petal. Okay, so their hand was just Leyline. Yes, we're gonna play Fell Mirror, and I'm gonna pass because this hand can, at least I can kill a Blood Moon with this hand. I mean, with my board state. Like if it's a Magus of the Moon, I can also kill it. Okay, Blood Moon. And I don't think I'm gonna try to kill it until I draw something that's relevant. So like if I draw Beseech, Bombardiers. Okay, that's a little awkward now because that's an actual clock. Okay, so I could kill this and then Feed the Swarm kill this. But I think I'm just gonna pass. I think we're still okay. They don't really have anything that they can fling at me, so, and their mana is just 2 lands right now. Well, 3 now. Spoke too soon. Another Blood Moon, okay. I can almost cast it from side of Echo if I draw a Mox or another Lotus Petal. I guess if I draw an LED, I can also just Dark Ritual, kill both Leyline, take 8 damage. Alright, so we drew Beseech. What can we do here? So they're 8 life. I'm sorry, 18 life. I'm at 14. I can cast Dark Ritual and Beseech twice after that. It's probably not enough. Beseech needs 3 triple black. So I think I'm just gonna have to pass a turn here, unfortunately. If I draw a 0 drop, then I can try to go for a Hail Mary Song of Creation. They can deal 5 damage with this one. Alright, I think we're gonna do the line I mentioned earlier. I'll sack this one. And I can get Song of Creation. Yeah. Cast Song of Creation. Unfortunately, I can't pass a turn now because I'm facing lethal next turn. We drew a Mox Opal. I'm gonna cast Mox Opal. Okay. I can cast Orcish Bowmasters, I think. I'm gonna try to deal damage to Bombardier, because if I draw another Bowmasters, I can kill Bombardier this turn. So if I put Echo under, I'll have access to another blue. I think I need more black mana. And I get to play a second land to this turn. Unfortunately, I don't have triple black, right? No, I don't. Only have 2 black mana. I need to draw a Dark Ritual. So Dark Ritual just wins, right? I could feed the Swarm, but I think that's just the worst option. I guess a Beseech. I mean, Entomb. An LED. Okay. I don't think I want to draw. Definitely want to draw Urza Saga. Okay. We'll play the LED. Fell the Profane. So there's like an argument to crack LED first, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm just gonna imprint Feed the Swarm. And so now I do have triple black, but again, these decks have started playing Mindbreak Trap. I really want to Thoughtseize them before trying to grab Tendrils of Agony. Another Bowmasters. They hit Pyroblast. Okay. Alright, but they don't have anything else. So not black. And that's a little trick that I learned. If you don't want to draw the actual tendrils, you can just sack Song of Creation. That way you're guaranteed to find the card you're looking for with Beseech instead of accidentally drawing because of Song of Creation's ability. Alright, cool. Really, really hard matchup to win in round 1, so pretty happy to win this one. See you guys in round 2. Alright, so we're back here for round 2. I'll be on the draw. So my hand doesn't do anything. So we're gonna mulligan this one. This is much better, I think. So I'm gonna keep it, and I think I'm gonna put a Beseech back. It's not a very explosive hand, but it's a fine hand. An Echo or a discard spell, a Dark Ritual, like Entomb, all of those things are relevant here. Okay, lately if I see this card, I think the deck is playing Nadu. Looks like I was correct. All right, so let's see. I can't just wait too long here now, but I also don't have any way to stop their combo. I guess I can try to... I don't know if these decks, they play Daze. Okay, so they don't have the actual combo, and they do play Daze. So, I mean, I have to take Force of Will. And I guess I'll pass the turn. Okay, so they can cast Nadu this turn. I can't cast anything unless I draw either a mana source or another... Oh, just that then. All right, I'm not gonna make the opponent go through that. So this deck is... I think Lavaspur Boots is not gonna cut. I think I just want the extra discard spell. And I do like Bowmasters. I like all my discard spells. I think I can swap a Cabal Therapy for an actual Duress. And I'm gonna have to kind of like ignore the graveyard part of the deck and then just try to go faster. I think it's really hard for me to bring Leylines and not dilute too much of my deck. Also, Nadu can win just as easily. I think I like this hand. I'm like 1 discard spell away from being able to do something busted. And I'm gonna hold up my LED and Chrome Mox because sometimes those decks still play ending. So prismatic ending. Do I want to Chrome Mox and try to start make constructs? Yeah, I think so. I can find more mana with Saga, I think. I don't think I need to play Lotus Petal. No. And this is one of those situations that having that one-off Cabal Therapy is very relevant. Depending what I draw, it's possible that I'll just Entomb for Therapy, and then I can use the Urza Saga token to flashback Cabal Therapy, and then hopefully they have Force of Will instead of Force of Negation, or if I name one, they don't have the other. All right, no Meds in core. So like even a Bowmaster is a pretty good draw here. And I think I'm just gonna get Mox Opal, another land, and play all my artifacts out, I think. I'm going to swing for 6. Sometimes I regret starting out the boots. I think this is one of those times. In fact, I guess I could try to go for it. So I have Force of Negation, then this has to be Illusionist. Okay, they're at 13 life. I'm assuming they have an Undoing hand. Oh, they have Illusionist. All right. I'll see if they have Thassa's Oracle there. Okay, so I see Dread Return. They had Disenchant. What is this? Legacy in 2012? Thassa's Oracle. They need another creature. Okay, they have Narcomoebas. Cool. All right. Opponent got us. Yeah, I really needed to draw a discard spell to be able to try to go off. Didn't draw one. All right. See you guys for round 3. All right, so we're back here for round 3. We'll be on the play this time, and I think this is a keep. And so my logic here is that I have both plans in my hand. I can either start attacking with Saga tokens, and then when Saga gets to chapter 3, I can try to echo. And of course, we will have some draw steps between now and the time the Saga hits the 3rd chapter. So Halo, good luck. You two, Mystic Sanctuary. Okay, cool. So I guess I'm just gonna play Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox. And I could start attacking. Maybe that is the move. I lose 1 artifact by doing this, but I think it's okay. I swing for 5. And also makes it kind of hard for him to try to kill this particular token. I can kind of repeat the same play next turn, right? Because I can, even if I don't draw anything that's super relevant, right? I can just grab LED off a Saga, play Mox Opal, and then equip the boots into the new, onto the new token. They draw Entomb. I'm just gonna still get LED. I'll play the second Mox Opal, I guess. Keep this one. I'm gonna try to equip this guy, and we swing for 11. Was that correct? Yeah. I'm sorry, 13. I don't know how to do math. All right. So it looks like they might have a terminus, I guess. Oh, Triumph of St. Catherine. Okay. So they're gonna 1 life. Okay. So this is for sure a Sheoldred matchup, and I think I want an extra discard. I think I'm gonna cut a couple of Chrome Moxes and 1 Cabal Therapy. Empty the Warren is iffy because, you know, if they have Tameo kind of just like blanks Empty the Warrens, which is kind of sad. Empty the Warrens used to be the go-to card for any blue deck, really, and now you can't just do that because a flip Tameo just makes a, you know, empty Goblin tokens not do anything. So all right, so this hand, I mean, if I thought my opponent was gonna play a Elvish Reclaimer on turn 1, this hand would be fine. Since I know my opponent is not playing an Elvish Reclaimer on turn 1, I mean, you can always just grab something with Saga or try to do the Saga. No, I think I don't even have mana for Saga to get going. Like, because again, this is one of those hands that, funny enough, like I can actually cast Song of Creation in a couple of turns. You know what? I'm gonna keep it. If I draw this card spell, and I did side in 2 extra ones, maybe it was a mistake to take out the 1 Cabal Therapy. Okay, so this, all right. Now that I see that they have a green, it makes me wonder if they also have Veil of Summer in their deck. Okay, so there's an LED. Okay, I really just kind of hoping to draw Duress or Chrome Mox would probably be okay too. Opponent is tripping out the cans. Okay, so this is interesting now because I can, you know what? I think that's the time to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this work. And what I can do here is sort of try to bait a counter spell of a Beseech. All right, so this gets countered. Annoying, but not the end of the world. So now we can do this. I mean, it can trip like twice, so like maybe they'll twice? No, 3 times. So I can try to do this. Okay, this is not even close the best. Like Echo, should have probably played it. Fell the Profane. I don't think I need to play Mox Opal now. Okay, I'm just gonna pass. Kind of bad to wheel your opponent's main control to a fresh 7 cards and Uro. Back to Nature's Wrath. So here I can grab a Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox? Yeah, I got a Chrome Mox. And I can imprint Fell the Profane. Okay, I think, yeah. Okay, so that was a mistake. I should have imprint probably Gaia's Will, actually. Okay, that was a mistake here. For some reason in my head I had Metalcraft, and I did not, and I was short the black man. Okay, so they are playing Tamiyo. That's good to know. So the Empty the Warrens plan will not work here. We can definitely not out of this game yet. Second Saga, that's pretty good. I mean, they can do the stifle thing, I guess. Not stifle, but no, consign to memory. No, I'm only got 2 black mana. Okay, we went up on Tamiyo. Tamiyo like ticks up like super fast, right? Is up to 4, 6, and then it wins. I forgot how many cards you need for rule 5. Okay, so they didn't have enough to. Alright, so I'm gonna get an LED, kind of similar to the last play. They have a Tamiyo that's ready to go off, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just doing this because it's easier for me to see how much mana I have. I'm going to sack the Chrome Mox. I mean, not Chrome Mox, Mox Opal. Okay, all right, we're gonna play a Mox Opal. Do I need to make mana? 1, 2, 3. I do. I'll make mana. Try to see if this resolves, and hopefully this time, if it resolves, I get a better 7 than my opponents. I will have some extra mana floating too, so which is great. Okay, unfortunately, I can't cast Song of Creation. I should be able to cast next turn, right? No, maybe I'll offer Urza Saga too. So I can only cast this. I can't take advantage of it. So what's the play here? I can play Sheoldred. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna burn the Dark Ritual. Yeah, I think I should like that, and I'll just play Sheoldred. Brainstorm before Sheoldred resolves. That definitely makes sense. Maybe they don't have any Swords of Plowshares left in their deck. That's my hope. Oh, they have Terminus. Wow. I am surprised they kept Terminus in their deck. Up the Beanstalk. Okay. I think I already used 2 Echoes, right? I guess Lotus Petal does the same thing I'm trying to do with the Song of Creation. See, if I do like this, I can cast Fall the Profane. Alright, so I can play Mire, pay 3 life. I'll make a blue. Play Mox Opal. Alright, so this is gonna make green, red, Song of Creation. Feels like I'm asking for a lot here. Okay, now they got it. Alright, so I think maybe I do want another. And most times when I cut Lavaspurs, you know what? I think I'm just gonna cut the Sheoldred then. Because, I mean, if they have Terminus too. Yeah. I guess Lavaspur is just not as good. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna keep Sheoldred. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer here, but yeah, if this can hit an LED or a Dark Ritual, I think I could keep it. Oh, actually, Mox Opal doesn't even make mana, so no, actually couldn't keep this hand either way. This one's a lot better. I think I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna start with the Saga because I'm trying to work up to an LED, and maybe I can hit them with the 1-2 punch of Duress plus Bowmasters. Like next turn, I'm expecting them to just cantrip on turn 1, and then I could Duress them, and if their play is just like cast up the Beanstalk or something like this, then I can try to Bowmasters. I think I'm gonna be patient here and not cast Bowmasters. Okay, that was very good draw. All right, so we're gonna get an LED. I am gonna play Vault Whispers. I think I'm gonna lead on Duress. So they have Force of Will, assigning to memory. Actually, let's take Force. I'm gonna try to play Dark Ritual. Now, hopefully they go for Brainstorm here. So their hand was Force, Brainstorm. All right, so we're gonna hit them with the Bowmasters. All right, I'm gonna do this because Magic Online is not very good at keeping track of that. And then it doesn't matter because we're gonna wheel. They obviously put the Terminus on top of their deck. Yeah, this is a terrible 7. Kind of rough. Let's see. I mean, I do have a very large creature in play now that can win. I guess I'm just gonna Thoughtseize them first. So Tamiyo, it's irrelevant, right? They can cast 4th for 1. I guess I just take Leyline Binding. Okay. And I guess I'll play the Lotus Petal. And this makes what? Blue, black, and red. Okay. Okay, so that was Tamiyo. Leyline Binding is gone. Veil of Summer. Interesting. Oh, there was no Terminus. Thought there was a play there. I guess I'll do 1 damage to Tamiyo so that way they can't just cash in on Tamiyo. The 4th? Okay, so they can't attack, right? I think the move here is to just try to kill this guy. Is that GG? Alright, cool. 2 and 1. I'll be back for round 4. Alright, so we're back here for round 4. Will I come on the play? Alright. And can't really keep this one. So we're gonna mulligan. And I'm gonna keep this one. It's a pretty good hand. I'm gonna put Song back. And Looks like opponent's also mulliganing. Maybe they felt bad for me. They're like, they mulligan. I think I'm gonna mulligan too. So we're gonna play this. I'm gonna pay 3 life. Basically, lava Xing myself, I guess. Okay, so we're playing as Reanimator. It doesn't really matter what we're gonna take because we're gonna take another mulligan. And I'm never sure if this is correct to do, like, to crack both LEDs. I think I'm gonna do this time because I'm kind of short on resources here. Okay, so I'm 1 mana short of beseeching and winning the game, so I think I'm going to make more black mana. Yes, they said LOL Storm. Not really sure how to respond to that, but or if I even have to respond to that. All right, so I'm gonna Chrome Mox twice here, so I can Entomb, and I could Bowmasters and Echo. That's gonna be my 3rd Echo. Problem that Echo doesn't beat them, so I think I'm just not okay. That was the correct choice, I guess. Alright, so chat, but if I start talking here, I'm gonna... Okay, cool. Alright, so the plan here is to bring Leylines, of course, and I'm going to bring a Helm of Obedience, and then I'm going to cut the Bowmasters, and if you wonder why, it's because I don't want to get my Bowmasters reanimated. And I think I can just cut a Cabal Therapy. I don't think they're very relevant when your opponent's not playing counter magic. They're trying to kill me faster than I kill them. Okay, let me reply to the opponents. Alright, this hand is really good. If I draw any mana sources, we can try to Helm of Obedience them on turn 1. If everything goes okay. Maybe they have some kind of like creature plan, and then this hand it's even better. If they Thoughtseize me or Unmask, then we have Entomb. It's kind of like 1 mana away from 1 card away from just being able to echo. Okay. Alright, so this is still really good. Again, still like an LED away from like being able to just Helm of Obedience. Or the Saga would be pretty good here. So if I imprint Chrome Mox into Tendrils, I could Beseech the Mirror and get Song of Creation. But then my only win con would be Helm, which is not bad, I guess. Alright, we're gonna do this for science. I can just present the combo and pass. Yeah, maybe just do that. Alright, instead of doing for science, we're gonna do the more safe play and more boring play. Right, so we're gonna Dark Ritual, and I'm going to get rid of this one, and we're gonna get Helm. We'll cast it. We'll pass the turn. It'll be super awkward if they have. Oh, they said GG. Oh wow, GG. It'll be awkward if they have like Mindbreak Trap and then I have no other win cons in the deck except for Urza Saga. Cool. Alright, so this is round 4. We'll be back for round 5. Alright, so we're back here for round 5. We're on to play again, which is very relevant for this deck. As much as I want to keep this hand, I don't think I can. It's a turn 1 Bowmasters if I want to. No, I think I need to have a hand that's like really good on turn 1. Okay, so we're gonna keep this one. Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna Dark Ritual first. It seems like your opponent might be playing a blue deck. Guess I'll play LED. Wow, okay. Kind of hard to figure out what to do here, right? Just maybe more Duresses. I don't know if that's... No, I'm gonna put an empty. I don't know. I have a feeling maybe that card should do something. I'm not really sure what the opponent's doing, but also if you are playing a Magic Online, you could look up your opponent's name and get a clue what they're trying to do, but I'm trying to play the matches as if I was, not knowing my opponent's deck is, which I think is the best type of content. Unless someone that's known for like a certain archetype, then of course, like it's kind of hard for you not to play accordingly, but in this case, I'm not sure what my opponent's playing. I'd rather keep it like that. Caesar Man Meat Pie. Interesting nickname. Screen name. I was about to say nickname. Yes, I guess I'll keep this one. Thoughtseize. Okay. My sideboarding was not bad. Did I bring? I only brought 1 Duress. Okay, so it looks like they're playing some kind of blue-black, either Reanimator or Tempo. If it's Reanimator, then again, I think I will cut the Bowmasters if we lose this game. If they're the Tempo version, then I could keep the Bowmasters. Then I usually cut some part of the Echo combo because it's a lot harder to echo when your opponent has Bowmasters on the other side of the board. They're thinking really hard here. I mean, there's arguments to discard either Beseech or LED. obviously depends on their hand, right? They could have 5 counter magics in hand, and but we'll see what the opponent wants to take. Looks like they decided to take Echo, so they might have Surgical Extraction. Yeah, it's a surgical. Okay, so I'm assuming it's Tempo then, not Reanimator, because unless they don't have any ways to interact in my hand, which I doubt it's the case. Also notably, they are at 15 life already. You know, if I draw a Tendrils of Agony, it's not too crazy to think that I can just naturally Tendrils them. If they fetch, they go to 14. You know, 7 cards in my hand. Get there. Maybe a Bowmaster ping and a couple of attacks. Wasteland my Vault of Whispers. I'd rather see that Wasteland than an Urza Saga. I thought they were gonna like surgical my thing too. Nope. Didn't mean to press 5. I was like, does it do anything on Magical Line? No, they just have another Wasteland. No. I guess I'll play this. And this. And this. Try to Duress them. Well, they don't have anything. Just take Ponder, I guess. Cast Dark Ritual. Liza Diamond. And make like here. It's like this. Yeah, Bowmaster would just be like Storm count 8. Okay. Get another Beseech. Sec Vault. Alright, so there was a... Oh, I messed up on the screen thing. There was a 4-1 league. That's the list I played in the league. I guess some after league thoughts. So this deck has... I've tried a bunch of different cards here. I think this configuration is okay. Some cards to consider is Dismember is one of them. That first match when we play against Mono Red, they didn't play Magus of the Moon, but it is a card that sometimes beats this deck like single-handedly, because you know the only way we have to kill it. Sometimes things line up and you can ping it with an Orcish Bowmaster and block it, but even in that matchup, like Orcish Bowmasters sometimes it's just like above average. I think I really just like my draws lined up well in the first match, and they had too many hate cards and not lock pieces, I guess. Like the Blood Moon is a lock piece, but I already had the Lotus Petal down, and they never had a Chalice or no Rod, anything like that. The other things I was considering was some other kind of way to sidestep that kind of hate. Like no Rod is in Chalice of the Void. Like just playing more creatures, but it's really hard to fit a creature here. I was thinking Barrowgoyf, but this deck doesn't really take full advantage of Barrowgoyf. Like even if it connects, like you might be getting an Orcish Bowmaster, right? So it doesn't really make sense. But so as far as the deck going forward, I think this is fine. Just maybe if I feel like Dismember is necessary, then some of the Feed the Swarm might be on the cutting block, or the chopping block. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening with me today. Feed the Swarm a lot of times can just kill like the Max of the Moon too, because it only costs 1 black. So if you have any of your mana rocks, you can just kill the Mags of the Moon. It's just you can't do it at instant speed, and of course you have to have black mana. So Dismember, generally speaking, is obviously better, but Feed the Swarm can also kill Leyline of the Void, right? So there were many times that Feed the Swarm kind of acted like as the way I can describe it is like when I used to play Ant, you'd make plays like you kill the Leyline that your opponent had, and then you just cast your LED and you cast your Echo, and then you go off, right? So you just need one spell to deal with the one hate card that they had. And if it's Leyline, then Feed the Swarm is perfect, right? You just kill the Leyline, and then you make the play I just mentioned, right? Just Echo, and then hopefully your 7s are very kind to you, and you find a way to win the game. And then again, the Duresses, I think they're necessary. I'm not quite sure if I'm sideboarding correctly with the Duresses, but I do think that some of these blue decks now, you do have to draw multiple discard spells. And one thing I noticed was when we used to have like one less discard spell in the main deck. One of the things that would happen that you just draw Thoughtseize or one Duress or a Cabal Therapy. And Cabal Therapy is a little better, but you draw Thoughtseize and you see double Forcible in your opponent's hand. And then you have to like kind of just wait until you draw the second one. This deck doesn't have any library manipulation. So like you literally just trying to draw off the top of your deck, or somehow Urza Saga gets there or something. But I was like, no, I really think that should be another Duress. Like I said, at first I started with one extra Duress in the sideboard, and I added a second one, and I think that's the correct number right now. Yeah, so I think the deck's good. Hopefully this league was a good way for you guys to see the deck. We mentioned the deck a bunch of times in the podcast that I record with Mike and Jared, Legacy Small Talk. If you go back and a couple of months ago, like, we at one point, like, me and Mike were playing basically the same 75. So there's lots of podcast material on this specific archetype. But yep, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Legacy video or Pre-Modern video.